Talk Today is brought to you by Subway, open 24 hours in Countryside, Anderson Square in Georgetown, and Centennial Towers in West Bay. And by the Ministry of District Administration. Explore your history, explore your land, explore your sister islands. And Cayman Airways. Call them on 949-2311 to book your nonstop flights to Los Angeles and Panama. And Doctors Hospital. Peace of mind is important when life happens. Doctors Hospital, always there for you. Call 949-6066.
But I do have some questions.
There are more questions than answers.
Cayman Islands' foremost listeners participation program.
Talk Today.
What is on your mind, Cayman? If you are ready to talk, we are ready to listen. Here's your host.
And good afternoon, Radio Cayman Nation. Excuse me, on a very happy Friday. Thank you for tuning into your station of the nation, Radio Cayman. I'm Raymond Singh, filling in for Mr. Sterling Dwayne Ebanks. Pleased to be featuring on the show today, Cool Out 2024. My guest in studio will be introducing in just a moment. And then at 1 p.m., we'll be joined in studio by the Honorable Deputy Premier, Mr. Kenneth BRYAN. We do also want to wish our Miss Cayman Islands, Miss Reagan Ruddy, all the best at the Miss Universe pageant on Sunday, I believe it is, this week. And feel free, if you have a guess on who's going to win this Tyson versus Jake Paul boxing match, send a little what's up on who you think may win it. As always, we do encourage you to join the conversation. Simply dial 949-6990 or WhatsApp us at 925-3261. Back with more talk today following this very brief disclaimer.
Talk Today is reminding you
to avoid any statements or comments which are abusive, derogatory, malicious, or defamatory. Do not use indecent language or make any statement that is false or misleading. Call 1-800-534-8255, 949-6990, 949-8037, or WhatsApp us on 925-3261.
And now, back to Radio Cayman Talk Today.
Yeah. Well, welcome back to Talk Today. In case you're just tuning in, I'm Raymond Singh, filling in for Mr. Sterling Dwayne Ebanks. Pleased to have in studio two of our local musical legends. I love them. They're awesome. Madame Narosa and JG here for Cool Out 2024. Welcome to the studio.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks for having us. Good evening, everyone.
So I got to ask you, point blank, on the spot, who do you got in the Tyson versus Paul fight?
I really do think Tyson's going to hit this one. I'm sorry, man.
All right.
Hopefully Tyson, you know.
Hopefully. I was saying the same thing. I really want to see Tyson knock this guy out.
I'm
For the
sorry.
kids, yeah.
Yeah. Nobody over 40 wants to see Tyson lose this fight. I'm telling you. No. We're like, no, we got him. You got him.
Oh, no.
But we're here to talk about Cool Out 2024. Now in its fourth year, fourth year. We're at it with one of our new music festivals on the calendar every year. JG, you've been part of it for a few years now. Congratulations again on your recent Soca Monarch title. But walk us through your involvement with Cool Out this year.
So this year, my band from the Jason Gilbert Recording School is performing at Loco tomorrow at 11 a.m. Loco's in Camano Bay. So I'm pretty excited that they get to showcase all the songs they've been writing and stuff like that, all live.
So, and how many students do we have here performing?
This group is 6 students.
Were they musically inclined before they joined your program and they came into it and that you just made them flourish? Or did they come in going, you know what, I kind of want to really do this?
Well, the kids in this group were all like, band students. So a lot of them played instruments, but they never thought about writing their own songs and stuff like that. And I had to convince a few of them. I was like, hey, I think you're like this one kid, Omari, he's amazing on chords. And every time I saw him at John Gray, he'd be playing and he'd always like catch me, like, you know what I mean, with just the chords he's playing.
Yeah.
So I invited him. He's like, I'm not sure. Now he's like the first one to show up every day.
See, that's why you do it. I love that story.
You know?
Is that because he's going to remember that for the rest of his life. He's going to remember, you know what, yeah, Mr. JG. You know, I was just kind of messing around. Then he said, hey, come on over. Yeah. Next thing you know, he's making the big time.
He's amazing. So a lot of these kids weren't sure what songwriting was. I think a lot of people's misconception is that songwriting is just writing lyrics. But in a band, songwriting can come from the guy creating the guitar riff, creating the chords.
Sure, absolutely.
It's all songwriting, right? So
Yeah.
once these kids figured out that they can contribute to a song, they all came together and wrote these amazing songs. So I can't wait for you guys to hear it tomorrow.
That's really cool. So that's 11 o'clock at Loco,
Come on.
in Commander Bay. And as far as yourself, are you performing this year at all?
Yes, I'm performing tomorrow night at Bonnie Moon.
Okay, and what time is that at?
That's from 8 to 12. So we have a few DJs, and I'll
Okay.
be DJing as well at Scotch Bonnet.
And as far as from your perspective, seeing Cool Out now, a few years into it, how do you feel about this type of event? And what do you think is the benefit of this event in Cayman?
I mean, from the start of it, one of the main things for me was just the collaboration. You have all these people coming together in one place, and there's only good that can come from that, right? Because,
Yeah.
I mean, all the knowledge and stuff like
Sure.
that, you know, that's been the main thing for me, just seeing all the collaboration that comes from it.
That's awesome. I remember last year, actually, now that you mentioned that, we went to the Sona event last year, and you'd have the kids in Cayman perform at that Sona event last
Yeah.
year. And it was interesting to see the diversity of people that had come out to support, to see the different events that were going on that night. And it was such a diverse range of musical talent on that stage. And then seeing them at the Harkwell, with Swanky playing, and there was the group that had come in from, I believe it was somewhere in Hong Kong, if I remember correctly.
Korea, I think.
Korea, yes, the Korean group. Thank you.
Yeah.
And at the end, Swanky and the Korean group got on stage together and performed together, and it was an amazing video to see this two completely diverse cultures, groups, everything diverse about these two groups came on stage and performed together. That's the epitome of collaboration, right?
We all speak
Yeah.
the same language around music.
That's
you
just
know,
it.
and
Music has that unifying bond, right?
Exactly.
If you speak French or English or Korean, like you can speak music.
you can speak music. Facts.
But it's the truth. And then I will bring it over to you in just a minute. Matter of time. I know we got to get JG out of the studio and back to work.
I'm also at the workshops tomorrow as well. There are workshops from 11:30 to 5:30 at Cayman Enterprise City.
Yes. So now, what are the workshops that you're attending, and why are you attending those workshops?
Well, I'm a part of the songwriting workshop.
Okay.
Yeah.
So is that where are you collaborating with other songwriters in these workshops, or is it?
Yeah, and also just like teaching everything about songwriting.
And are you getting any younger audience members attending?
Yes,
these
all of the
workshops?
kids. So the kids from Jukebox and my school are
Yeah.
all attending. And
That's
yeah.
fantastic. That's awesome. Madam Rosa,
Yes.
how are you?
I am Fabu. How are we?
Fabu.
Yes.
This is one of these words, JP, and I don't know these words.
Fabulous. I'm fabulous.
Oh, man.
Most of our audience probably didn't know.
So what is this?
Don't lie, you felt old for a split second there.
Huh?
You felt old. Yeah, I did. I went, hold on a second. Wait, what? So you're a big part of the Cool Out movement this
I
year.
sure am.
So, but you've been a part of it as a performer before.
Yes.
How do you feel now stepping into it more on the hands-on ground floor, trying to keep all the pieces together? How was
It
that?
has been a little hectic, but also exciting. Because for some reason, I work really good under pressure.
Good.
So I'm here for the experience. I'm here to learn and grow. So I love that I get to have the best of both worlds, the back end and also the performance side. So that, anytime someone asks, what is cool, I can really tell you what it is.
What it
so
is.
this is what it is from this side. This is what it is from this side. But together,
Yeah.
we're one team,
It might look a little chaotic at
Yeah,
first,
it might
but
look a little something, but trust me, we got you.
we swing it together.
We're here to literally cool out.
Yeah. Well said. Is that where the name came from?
Honestly,
You could lie and could say yes.
I will. My understanding from observation, yeah.
Well, fair.
I'll go ahead and say it.
We just need to cool down a bit. On that note, let's go to our quick commercial break here. I know JG has to leave the studio, but we'll dive back into the Cool Out movement with you, Madam Rosa, and all the details around this weekend's events. Back to More Talk today, right after this.
Did you know ordering your favorite sandwich from Subway just got easier? Yeah, picture this. No more waiting in line. No more fussing with cash. Just a delicious taste of Subway at your fingertips. With our new app, ordering your go-to sub is as easy as a few taps on your phone. Plus, receive exclusive deals and earn loyalty points with every purchase made on the app. Download the new Subway app today and get ready to ditch the lines and drive straight into your flavor. Visit the App Store or Google Play Store on your mobile phone and search for Subway Cayman Islands. Subway. Eat fresh.
You deserve a unique vacation this year, one with easy non-stop flights from Cayman. Cayman Airways offers more non-stop flights to and from the Cayman Islands than any other airline. Now you can add Panama and Los Angeles to your travel bucket list. Skip the hassle of connecting flights. Panama is just a 2-hour non-stop flight from Cayman. And Los Angeles? Get there in less than 5 hours non-stop aboard Cayman Airways. Call 949-2311 or visit CaymanAirways.com to book your Los Angeles or Panama getaway today.
Did you know that Doctors Hospital provides urgent care services 24 hours a day, 7 days a week? And Doctors Hospital's urgent care physicians have access to the most advanced MRI and CT imaging in the Caribbean, providing reliable diagnostics when you need it most. When you need quality urgent care for an illness or injury, Doctors Hospital is here for you 24/7. Whether it's a migraine, chest or abdominal pain, shortness of breath, broken bones, or another urgent need, Doctors Hospital at the top of Walker's Road. Urgent care right now.
Stay cyber secure with Cayman National. Protect your computers and mobile devices with security software to defend against cyber attacks through viruses, malware, and other online threats. Be aware of unsecure Wi-Fi connections when in public. If you need to access your online banking or sensitive information on your mobile devices, try disabling the Wi-Fi and switching to data from your mobile network. If you suspect a fraud attempt, please contact our customer support team at 949-8300.
A caring and community spirit, cherished family and cultural values. These are some of the things that still embodies the Caymanian way of life in the Eastern Districts today. Savannah Pharmacy, your neighborhood pharmacy, located in Countryside Shopping Village, is delighted to offer products and services of real value. Whether it's catering to your family's medical needs or carrying apparel, gifts, and beauty products, Savannah Pharmacy provides you with more than just prescriptions. Remember, they're always just around the corner with everything your family needs and convenient opening hours, including Sundays and holidays. Savannah Pharmacy. For more information, call 946-3336.
Prescription refills made easy at Savannah Pharmacy. WhatsApp your prescription refills to 929-5045.
Reflections annual countdown to Christmas sale is on now. Ladies, save 50 to 75% off selected fashion clothing, selected Adidas, Puma, and Nike sneakers discounted from 25 to 50% off. Make your gift giving super easy this year by getting Reflections gift certificates for everyone on your list. Converse kicks starting at $25 and bargains galore throughout the store. Guys, cargo pants, big and tall, $5.50. Levi's and selected Docker pants, 25% off. Every purchase above $49 at Reflections gives you the opportunity to win 2 free tickets to any Cayman Airways destination of your choice. Open Monday to Thursday, 9 a.m. till 8 p.m. and Friday and Saturday, 9 a.m. until 9 p.m. Shop Reflections on Shen Road beside the Mango Tree.
See yourself in Reflections. Reflections, always driving down prices.
Attention students and parents, are you ready to explore incredible opportunities for your education? Visit the 2024 North American Boarding School Fair, Tuesday, November 19th at the Grand Cayman Marriott Beach Resort from 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. This is your chance to meet with the representatives from the top boarding schools across the U.S. and Canada, all in one place. Discover the right school for your future. Sign up today at BettyWalker.com. That's www.BettyWalker.com. Contact Neil Murray at 925-8793 or email l-murray@candw.ky.
Radio Cayman's Talk Today. What is on your mind, Cayman?
And welcome back to Talk Today. I'm Raymond Singh, filling in for Mr. Sterling Dwayne Ebanks. Excuse me. We got to say goodbye to Mr. JG, who has to get back to, adulting and all the facets of adult life. But in studio now with us still is Madame La Rosa, who's part of the Cool Out 2024 organizing team. performer last year. This year, stepping onto the ground floor. Now, we know JG's history of music. We haven't had you on the studio and the station all too often. Can you tell us a bit about your background in music, where you're from exactly, so the community actually really gets to understand who you are?
So, obviously, my stage name is Madame Nerosa, and I am born and raised in Cayman Brac. And I like to call it the motherlands because obviously the first settlers came there, right? So just for anyone who's like, yeah, she a Braca. Yeah, I a Braca, but I am the Braca. The one and only. I'm just kidding, guys. I started music from a very young age. I had several like music teachers. I guess I can consider them as coaches, right? That really encouraged me because they always saw that potential. So they're like, you know, I can see you enjoy this. Go on ahead. I also have my mom as well. She kind of throw me in the hot water and anything. Sports, music, art. She had me everywhere. But I appreciate it, you know, her for that. And then I graduated 2018, came over here to finish my associates. And then I just did full-time jobs afterwards. My last job that I had, I finished it this year, like May. And I decided that I'd like to transition into the whole music realm full-time. So Cool Out has been a very big help for me. I am now working with the team. It is very, very amazing experience because I get to see not only I don't only get to see the perspective of the performance side, but I also get to see the business side in a glimpse. Yeah, so it's definitely, it's been a little overwhelming because it's still a first time thing for me.
Sure.
But I'll definitely say that it's been a great journey so far. So yeah.
That's fantastic. And very ambitious, bold move to step into saying music is what I want to do full time.
Yes, it was a bold move. I did go through some wave of emotions, you know. It's a process of making that sacrifice to go into something that is now in a sense foreign to you. It'll get a little scary because you're like, what do I do? How do I get it going? But you got to remind yourself, if you really, really want it that bad, then you're going to have to make the sacrifices. But I guarantee that the results will be greater if you start from now.
That's just it, right? No matter what, you just got to start at some point. And the longer you wait to start, well, it is what it is, but
you got to put yourself in an uncomfortable place.
And now, do you play instruments, singer?
I like to think that the original instrument is your voice. So if I were to say I play an instrument, that's my voice.
Ever the poet.
But I do dabble in like piano. I do have a little ukulele that Jason JG Gilbert gave me, so I play with that now and then. I also used to play the alto saxophone. I'm hoping to purchase one soon because I like to get back into that. I really love jazz music.
Yeah.
So, yeah. I like to dabble. And I did used to play also the steel pan. This was when I was a little younger, obviously, maybe year 4, year 5. I played the steel pan and the drum set.
All right, so you were like the annoying little kid.
Just kind of go everywhere and say, oh, let me play this, let me try that. Yeah.
This makes a lot of noise.
Yeah, I was quite a quick learner, so, you know, everything would really intrigue me creative-wise. So,
absolutely.
Yeah.
And part of a band, solo performer, what is your current?
I'm mainly a solo performer,
okay,
but I have played with a few bands. Heat Band is definitely one of them. They accompanied me last night for our welcome showcase.
Yep.
And tonight we're obviously having Fishy Vibes, but yesterday they were there. They were playing like 3 of my original songs. It was my first time actually having a band back up my original music. And to be honest, we only had like a very, very short time frame, like 1 or 2 rehearsals, or technically 1 rehearsal and 1 gig rehearsal. Wow. But, you know, I like to think that there is no better performance than ones that are kind of like improv. I may have improv most of what I did last night, but I'm really glad that everyone enjoyed it, you know?
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
It was
a talent. Improv is a talent, right? If you can improv with acting is one thing. If you can improv with music, that's just a whole different level of improv, right?
Oh, yes.
That's like you're truly in the zone if you could actually make that happen. And so what are your kind of aspirations for your musical career? And the second part of that is, how do you think Cool Out can actually further that for you and any other artists who came in?
So for me, I would like to have a long-term career in music. I want to tour. I want to be able to create more, collaborate. For Cool Out, that's what it's about learning, growing your career, understanding how you can monetize your work, and, you know, having the business side and the creative side connect. Very important, because you can create all day, but if you want to sell, you got to learn the business side. So this platform is really important in order to help us to connect, collaborate, and, you know, just grow on a whole, right? Yeah.
You know, there's a lot of shit that. I mean, it's you see a lot of musicians, and same with athletes as well. They have the talent.
Yeah, they
and
really
it's the
do.
business side of it that winds up pulling them back because
Yeah.
they don't know the ins and outs. They don't know the pitfalls or where you can get trapped in a contract that may not be for your liking, right? Or what happens if you get hurt if you're an athlete? But what if you're a musician and you're just not getting the audience? Like, what do you do? And
Yeah.
that business side really has.
It really does.
And it's one of the things I really did actually appreciate about Cool Out last year, seeing some of the information that was going out and seeing my son in the industry or starting in the industry.
Yeah.
And it's helpful as a parent to actually look at what's going on out there. And granted, we're in the media industry.
Yeah.
But from a parent perspective, and I would say to any parent out there, the more research you do and Cool Out of those platforms,
Yeah.
that kind of brings that research home to you.
It does.
And that's what I appreciated about the Cool Out experience last year. Thank you for sharing that.
Oh, of course. Of course.
So now let's dive into a bit about what is all the different parts of Cool Out that you're trying to tie together.
As in getting into the layout of
The layout of the actual events this weekend.
So, other than the reception and welcome showcase last night, Fish Tea Vibes is part of our main stage. It is a ticketed event. You can find everything on www.cool-out.com. You have all of the events on there. We have satellite stages at Duke's, Loco in Kimana Bay, and Miss Piper's, which is behind. It's connected to the Hampton by Hilton hotel.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll have like a lineup from roughly 5 to 9, 5 to 10. It depends on our host. So we have the lovely Brent McLean for Dukes. We have Cameron Douglas, also known as JR, for Local. And then we have the amazing James Gary for Miss Piper. So they're really, really, really great, talented people as well.
Sure.
And they're guiding their own lineups for their stages. And those are free. So there's no excuses for anyone who's like, oh, I don't know if I can. we got the free one and we got the ticketed one, you know. So we make sure that no one is left out. We want to make sure everyone is included.
Now I know there's a lot of artists. You might not get all of them, but walk me through some of the artists that are playing at the free venues, and then who's playing at the ticketed venue tonight at the Hard Rock.
So for the Fish Tea Vibes, we have Keith Stegall and Barefoot Man. Last night they played together. And then we have Stuart Wilson. We do have a K-pop group called Big Ocean. They were really nice. They're so sweet. They're actually the first K-pop group that is hearing impaired. So they use like technology to, listen in and play their music. It's really cool. We also have Lionfish tonight. Yesterday was me, but the difference between the shows that I played yesterday and then Lionfish is tonight. And then Daniel Augustine, I hope I pronounced his name properly, is going to have a little finale song at the end, and then everyone will join in and just create one nice little live jam session. So it should be good. For the satellite stages, for local, we have people like James Monroe Jr. I know he plays the steel pan. Nastasia, I forgot how to pronounce her last name, but I know her name is Nastasia. She plays with her dad. Her dad plays the guitar and accompanies her. And I believe Daisy Lee also played yesterday, actually, at Local as well. For Dukes, we have, this is my amazing friend, Erica Sai. If anyone doesn't know her, please know that she is an amazing, talented person. We also have Jade Dixon. She's a very soul individual, and what I love about her is like she reminds me of me. We love the jazz and the soul, like the classic songs. And I'm trying to figure out There's one more. There's obviously a lot more people. I'm just trying to memorize them. Okay, we'll get back to that one. For Miss Pipers, we have Joanne Tamayo. He plays the violin, but he's really, I don't know if, listen, guys, when I say this man is ingenious, I really love it. I did one session with him, with Kareem the other day at Next Door. Mind blowing. Absolutely mind blowing. James Gary will also be there, obviously doing his own set. And Johann Fitzgerald. I know he does like more like maybe reggae, trop in a sense. He is a versatile talent, but he really sounds good doing reggae. He has a very nice voice. So that's just a few people in mind, but there's a whole lineup of amazing, talented individuals. So you guys gotta check them out.
We'll see a quick pause right there. Go to commercial break and come back. We'll explore more of the business side.
Okay, sure.
Cool. Back more talk today right after this.
You deserve a unique vacation this year, one with easy non-stop flights from Cayman. Cayman Airways offers more non-stop flights to and from the Cayman Islands than any other airline. Now you can add Panama and Los Angeles to your travel bucket list. Skip the hassle of connecting flights. Panama is just a 2-hour non-stop flight from Cayman. And Los Angeles? Get there in less than 5 hours non-stop aboard Cayman Airways. Call 949-2311 or visit CaymanAirways.com to book your Los Angeles or Panama getaway today.
Did you know ordering your favorite sandwich from Subway just got easier? Yeah, picture this. No more waiting in line. No more fussing with cash. Just a delicious taste of Subway at your fingertips. With our new app, ordering your go-to sub is as easy as a few taps on your phone. Plus, receive exclusive deals and earn loyalty points with every purchase made on the app. Download the new Subway app today and get ready to ditch the lines and drive straight into your flavor. Visit the App Store or Google Play Store on your mobile phone and search for Subway Cayman Islands. Subway. Eat fresh.
Accidents and illnesses can strike without warning. Ouch! When it comes to urgent care, every second counts. At Doctors Hospital, we have a dedicated team of experienced doctors and nursing staff available to you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Don't waste time in an overcrowded emergency room when you need urgent care. Whether it's a broken bone, a severe infection, or a sudden illness, trust in Doctors Hospital's unwavering dedication to providing the best immediate care. For complete urgent care when you need it the most, choose Doctors Hospital, located in Georgetown, 16 Middle Road.
Wouldn't it have been grand if you had purchased land 30 years ago? It may not be 2020, but a perfect vision has never been more clear. Cayman Brac and Little Cayman, poised for growth with an eye on the future. Your land, your history, your future. Discover all that our sister islands have to offer.
Now, more than ever, supporting your immune system is crucial to helping your body fight off illnesses like the common cold, the flu, and COVID-19. At Valley Med Pharmacy on Walkers Road and in Buttontown, we carry all the essential vitamins and minerals to help support your immune system and improve your overall health. Some of our top immunity support picks are vitamin C, vitamin D, zinc, elderberry, and quercetin, or the popular 7-in-1 immunity support. Our pharmacists are always on hand to help guide you and answer any questions. Visit Valley Med Pharmacy on Walkers Road or Buttontown. Live happy, live healthy with Valley Med Pharmacy.
Step into Winner Circle Sports to explore fresh arrivals. Choose from the newest lineup of Adidas, Nike, Vans, Converse, On Running, and Jordan. Whether you're gearing up for the weekend with friends in graphic tees, Nike shorts, Nike slippers, prepping for a marathon season with Garmin watch, Asics running shoes, and plush Balega socks, or maybe getting a head start on the holiday shopping with new Jordan retros, shorts, slides, and socks. Winner's Circle has you covered. Make Winner's Circles your go-to for the latest footwear, apparel, and accessories at unbeatable prices. Find us at 12 Walkers Road. Winner's Circle Sports, always a step ahead.
Radio Cayman's Talk Today. What is on your mind, Cayman?
And welcome back to Talk Today. I'm Raymond Singh, filling in for Mr. Sterling Dwayne Ebanks. In studio, the very poetic Miss Madame La Rosa. You're very choosy with your words. I love it. But we're here talking about Cool Out 2024, and we had JG in studio earlier talking about the importance of how you felt this event has helped on the local music scene. And before the break, we talked about the lineups, and we'll get back to lineups in a second, but there is the business side of this whole industry. One of the things Cool Out has done is bring together, whether it's global leaders or through SONA, which is the Songwriters of North America
Yes.
Association, to kind of help legitimize artists' works so that they're protected in this process and help with contracts. But walk us through some of the conferences that are going on this week for Cool Out.
So for this week, I know we had a breakfast conference meeting this morning. Unfortunately, I didn't get much, how should I put this, involvement with the conferences, but I am aware of them. I know that yesterday we had a 100 Women Finance conference prior to the Welcome Showcase, but most of these conferences is like for the investors and the business side who want to do like more collaborative things. So they'll come in there and just network around. So the artists and the creative side can come in and also join in as well. But that's for people who I guess already have like their business side structured,
So that's
but
their
maybe they're
networking,
looking for more outlets to invest in.
That's
So
their
the
networking.
conferences are really good for that. But the creative people are always welcome to come and learn as well.
Sure.
The workshops are really important for the creatives, right? JG mentioned earlier about the songwriting. We want people to be able to understand how to create their songs, how to monetize their work, and be the best version that they can be as artists.
Absolutely.
Especially if you intend to be an independent artist, doing the admin work, doing the management, a manager's role. That's going to be very important for you. So.
And then as far as the industry of finding managers and that whole landscape, I'm asking from a parent standpoint here as well, because I know quite a number of parents who our kids are all relatively musically inclined. They want to make some kind of career in this in the future. How does Cool Out itself connect, or does it connect with managers and agents out there to help aspiring artists like yourself?
Yes, they do. As a matter of fact, yesterday when I was finished with the Welcome Showcase, there was this Belizean producer. He came up to me, and of course, again, he's not from here, and he asked me what kind of songs I do, what kind of genres I do. He complimented my performance, and he told me that if I'm interested, let's collab, and it's stuff like that that we want for our artists. We want to invite in the business side, have them sit down and watch our talent and be like, you know what? That's great. I'd like to work with this person. And that's what it's about, right? You come in, you collaborate, and just, we're here to grow as one team, right? So that's what Cool Out is really about.
And I appreciate that this is your first year with the
team
itself.
Yeah.
You performed last year, part of the team this year. Have there been any discussions about your goals for next year and how you want to see Cool Out kind of grow in the future? I know this is all very new.
Yeah, it is. I mean, I would hope that it grows more. I hope that there's other resources implemented for our artists, like grants. That would be very helpful for them, for anyone who has projects like myself. I have this Caribbean Tea project that I'm trying to create more singles for, so it would be very helpful for stuff like that. That way you can have more music to put out, and then you can do the marketing side, you can get more traction, more acknowledgement for who you are.
Sure.
So just little stuff like that, I would say we're looking to implement into next year, depending on how everything goes for this year.
And then being from the BRAC, will we see the day when Cool Out makes its step onto Cayman BRAC shores?
Yes. So
all right, your face light up. You're like,
yeah, there was an attempt to at least have some kind of ferry or service, like obviously not a shuttle from Cayman BRAC to the Cayman, but some kind of boat service to bring some of my fellow Caymanians down there to Hungry Iguana and Little Cayman, because we had Bob Mosley and some of his friends playing down there.
Yes.
So it would have been nice to include them, but we really do want to expand so that we're not leaving anyone out. So Cayman Brack is definitely something that we're going to look into for next year, God's willing.
Absolutely.
And, you know, we can just really, it'll feel very complete, you know, so.
I love it. And then we got a few minutes left here on the show.
No
If you don't mind, if you can just give us a quick rundown again of the lineup tonight, because I know you mentioned earlier. Just
Yes.
tuning in.
So Fishy Vibes, it is obviously a ticketed event. You can go on our Cool Out website, www.cool-out.com, and we'll have all of our events on there. And the lineups is Keith Stegall and Barefoot Man. They're going to be playing together. We have Stuart Wilson. We have the K-pop group Big Ocean. We have Lionfish. And we have Daniel Augustine that will be playing his last, his Cool Out song for the finale. So definitely want everyone out there, please, please, please. If you feel that you can't afford a ticket and you need a grant, reach out to us, info@cool-out.com, and we have you. We just want everyone to come in and support our amazing talent.
That's awesome. And then as far as you mentioned 3 other satellite locations.
Yes, the satellite locations are Duke's, that is across from the 7 Mile or Public Beach, and we have Loco in Cayman Bay and Miss Piper's at Hampton by Hilton. Okay. So come on out, guys. And we should also have a jam session at Lone Star after Fishy Vibes. Fishy Vibes finishes at 10 p.m. So if you miss it and you want to come to the free jam session, come on by.
Awesome. And then tomorrow, I know JG had mentioned there is the youth performances. Can you walk us through what's on the plan for tomorrow night? Because I know there's a lot on tomorrow, but Cool Out has a whole bunch of events still going on tomorrow.
Yes, they do. Tomorrow is Saturday. We have it's an after party event with Scorch Bonnet, also known as JG Gilbert, and that's from 8 to midnight. So that is also free. Come on by. We would love to have everyone show up and just have fun and, you know, join and support the cause. Yeah, so why not?
Cool Out 2024, right? Looking back to like last year and seeing how it's grown up to now.
Yeah. I
am curious to see how the program and how the Cool Out involvement can grow in the future. And I'm looking at it more from the kids side. The adult, there's a lot of adults in the community that are playing music now. We see James Geary putting out the list of live music that's taking place every night. But we have a large contingent of up-and-coming artists.
Yes.
JG was talking about it during the break. Our listeners wouldn't have heard it, but JG was mentioning that the John Gray musical program, the programs, and I remember when I was there 2 years ago with JG, seeing what they were doing, they are really climbing leaps and bounds right now in music. And JG mentioning he has 6 students performing tomorrow, but he has 2 different bands that he's running out of John Gray, and the talent pool coming out of there. How does that make you feel knowing that there's an up-and-coming entourage of musicians?
I'm very excited. You know, at one point, I didn't feel like music was being acknowledged as an industry here, but I'm really happy that it is now. So, you know, seeing our next generation actually partaking in and being able to have access to these kind of resources, it really makes me happy. So,
sorry, and that's where I think at the Cool Out element really, because if you guys continue to develop what your product is as Cool Out, you're creating this platform for musicians to really step into.
Oh yes, absolutely.
Excuse me, and learn the actual industry before they actually make it to the big time.
Yes, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're going big time. We're going to see you on the big panels, big stages.
Hopefully. We'll see where the future takes us.
You gotta own that. I just gave you the full. Yeah, man, I'll be out there.
You know what, guys? I'll be out there. 2025. Simmer live. Oh man!
And you can see where the energy comes. Like I love the energy, right? You've been out there. I've seen you perform a few times. I saw you perform actually at the Proud of Them Awards.
Yes.
Last year, that's where we met for the first time, and yeah, that energy just kind of sparked out, and the crowd went wild. And anyhow, I'm glad you're part of the Cool Out movement, and I have no doubt that if you continue to be part of it, they're going to continue to flourish. Thank you.
Thank you.
And on that note, we're going to send to our 1 p.m. headline news. When we come back, we will have in studio the Honorable Deputy Premier, Mr. Kenneth Bryan, here discussing a plethora of discussion items. Back more talk today, right after this.
Since 1976.
Covering Grand Cayman, no Cayman, Cayman Brack.
One small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.
Radio Cayman in the Cayman Islands. From Radio Cayman's newsroom, this is Headlines. Local, regional, international news.
The Headline News is brought to you by Kirk Market and Health Services Authority.
With a look at your latest headlines, I'm Jevi Ebanks. The Health Services Authority says the Smith Road Medical Center Pharmacy will be closed for maintenance on Sundays the 17th and 24th of November. Patients are advised to collect medications on Saturday, the 16th and 23rd respectively. For urgent medication needs on the closure days, the Georgetown Hospital Pharmacy will be open from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Regular operations will continue on weekdays and Saturdays. In regional news, Guyana's Vice President Bharat Jagdeo has welcomed the nomination of Marco Rubio for U.S. Secretary of State, expressing optimism about continued good relations with the Trump administration. Jagdeo highlighted Rubio's awareness of the Venezuela issue, crucial for Guyana's territorial integrity. He expects strong support from Rubio and President-elect Trump on Guyana-Venezuela border controversy, currently before the International Court of Justice. Venezuela has until the 9th of December to respond to Guyana's pleadings. Jagdeo also noted Rubio's past support for Guyana, criticizing the Joe Biden administration's veto of a $180 million loan to Guyana's Shore Base Incorporated by the Inter-American Development Bank. British Virgin Islands Governor Daniel Pruce has officially assented to the Immigration and Passport Amendment Act, which allows children born to non-belonger parents to apply for residence status. The new law aims to improve transparency and fairness in immigration policies. Premier Dr. Natalia Wheatley praised the law as a step towards greater accountability, aligning with the recent Commission of Inquiry recommendations. The amended act establishes clear guidelines for qualifying for residence and belonger status and formalizes the process for determining annual immigration quotas. Government entities will gather and analyze data to support sustainable development. The law, approved on the 1st of November, will soon take effect, marking a significant enhancement in the territory's immigration system. That is your latest headlines. I'm Jevi Ebanks.
More news available at www.radiocayman.gov.ky. Check out our social media pages: Facebook, YouTube, X, formerly Twitter, Radio Cayman Headline News.
This holiday season, let Kirk Market do the roasting so you can do the hosting. Visit in-store or shop online and order your traditional family feast, complete with classic roasted turkey and ham, all the tasty sides and trimmings. Let the chefs at Kirk Market be your holiday helpers so you can spend less time in the kitchen. Order online at kirkmarket.ky or visit in-store today. And don't forget to visit the florist at Kirk Market to find the perfect centerpiece for your table. There's no place like Kirk Market for the holidays.
Do you have a healthcare question but not sure who to ask? Contact HSA's Patient Call Center to speak to one of our experienced clinical team members. We are here to answer your questions and help guide you through your healthcare journey. Need to make an appointment? Our team can help. Contact HSA at 949-8600 or email info@hsa.ky. At HSA, we are committed to caring for you.
Radio Cayman is pleased to feature this special Sister Islands historical vignette brought to you by the Ministry of District Administration and Lands. Explore your history, explore your land, explore your Sister Islands. Captain Keith Parker Tibbetts, MBE, JP.
Following a successful and decorated shipping and military career, Captain Keith Parker Tibbetts, MBE, JP, returned back to Cayman Brac. In 1953, an enterprising Captain Keith began a small retail grocery business in Watering Place. The entrepreneurial spirit he developed 20 years prior while working in the family-owned soft drink factory at Cotton Tree Bay would shine through, turning the grocery business into Tibmart Supermarket in 1974, introducing gift stamps for purchases and pioneering self-service shopping in Cayman Brac. Keith Tibbetts was fond of saying, "They stocked everything to take you from the cradle to the grave." Captain Keith's entrepreneurial efforts stretched far, and he began landing cars by pontoons in 1955. He also owned and operated the island's first rock crusher and started commercial farming on the bluff. He then opened a gas station in 1955, served as Cayman Airways agent until 1980, and in 1975 was appointed agent with Red Carpet Airlines, part owned by his brother Linton. He also operated a sub-post office, taught local men carpentry, built 12 houses, and sold them to young seamen, assembled a steel staircase, and built the platform for the stratoscopic antenna for cable and wireless at Stake Bay, worked as an agent for Modern General Insurance Company, operated Skipper's Lodge Guest House, Kesson Rent-A-Car, served as an agent for Thompson Shipping Company, and owned and operated a gift shop at the Brack Reef Hotel. This was part 6 of a special Sister Islands vignette series dedicated to Captain Keith Parker Tibbetts.
I'll be back. I've got 22 more days.
Radio Cayman is pleased to feature this special Sister Islands historical vignette brought to you by the Ministry of District Administration and Lands. Explore your history, explore your land, explore your Sister Islands.
Explore your history. Explore your land. Explore your Sister Islands, the ultimate staycation experience. Your culture, your freedom, the land that time forgot isn't gone. It's your Sister Islands.
Discover all that our Sister Islands have to offer. Traffic again? What in the world is going on?
Find out by tuning in to Radio Cayman's Traffic Report, brought to you 4 times daily during rush hours following the news at 7 a.m., 8 a.m., 12 noon, and 5:15 p.m. And brought to you by Subway. Need a meal on the go? Subway has 7 locations at Anderson Square, West Shore Plaza, and Industrial Park in Georgetown, Centennial Towers, West Bay, Reef Resort, East End, Countryside Shopping Village in Savannah, and in the Owen Roberts Airport Departure Lounge. No matter if you're running late, need to cater an event, or a staff meeting, Subway keeps you fueled with sandwiches, salads, pizza, wraps, and snacks. Subway, eat fresh.
When you talk about the Caribbean, you talk about who? Music, vibe, yo, Caribbean rhythm.
It is on Radio Cayman. It is the rhythm of the Caribbean.
This Saturday night.
Rhythm of the Caribbean.
89.9 Radio Cayman helps you to weather the storm during this hurricane season.
One of the most crucial elements of hurricane preparedness is storm awareness. During the season, it is of utmost importance to pay attention to the latest local weather forecast, as hurricanes do not suddenly form or strike. There are various methods of advanced notification. Utilizing such may be the difference between a favorable outcome and disaster. Both television and radio serve as excellent mediums with up-to-the-minute storm path information in the wake of a hurricane. Another method of tracking a hurricane may be only arm's length away. Your smartphone or tablet can be your most valuable tool before, during, and after a storm, providing countless numbers of apps with crucial hurricane information. Many apps allow you to track storms with moving radar and satellite imagery, plus offer alerts, current conditions, forecasts, advisories, and even video.
This hurricane preparedness tip was brought to you by your community radio station, Radio Cayman 89.9 FM.
Radio Cayman's Talk Today. What is on your mind, Cayman?
And welcome back to Talk Today. In case you're just tuning in, I'm Raymond Singh, filling in for Mr. Sterling Dwayne Ebanks. Pleased to have in studio our Honorable Deputy Premier, Mr. Kenneth Bryan. Welcome back to Talk Today.
Thank you so much. It's a pleasure to be here. I'm excited to be able to sit down and talk with the public. You know, a lot has been going on since the last time I've been on the show, so I'm quite
just a few things.
Just a few things.
Just a handful.
Yeah.
You know, before we get into the heavy stuff here, let's have a bit of fun. Heavyweight question, though. Mm-hmm. Big fight tonight. Jake Paul, Mike Tyson.
Yeah, I'm worried about that, to be honest with you. I love Mike Tyson, right? And it'd be great to see this, this senior boxer who's been so great in his career come back and knock out this young dude. But I'm really worried about him getting hurt. I don't know his physical ability. I mean, it's a sport. I'm assuming doctors have checked him out and made sure he's all right. But it could go really bad. I honestly,
It could.
I'm not even sure if I'm going to watch it, to be honest with you. I'll wait to hear the results.
It's like that ultimate Rocky scenario, right?
Yeah.
The old dog comes on. He's ready to. I think I haven't talked to anybody over the age of 40 who wants to see Tyson lose this fight, right? Everyone's like, no, we still got some oomph in us, right?
Yeah. It'll be historical if he wins. I think he has a strong possibility. I mean,
yeah.
You see, where I'm lost is this a gimmick or is this real?
I think people are questioning that, right?
Yeah. So watching the fight, you'll be able to tell, because you can tell when people are being serious, whether they're blowing really hard and stuff. So it's definitely worth watching. I know that.
Well said. I think I do plan to actually. I'm not gonna lie. I share that sympathy of I don't want to see him get hurt, right?
Yeah.
We grew up watching this guy.
Yeah.
We don't want to see him get hurt.
No.
Especially not to him, not to Jake Paul, right?
Yeah.
We don't want the guy with the big mouth hurting him.
Sorry.
Oh, no. So that's the fun side of our conversation out of the way. There's a lot of stuff you've been tackling as far as government goes.
Yeah.
Your new role at Premier. We heard the speech yesterday here on Radio Cayman at the Chamber Conference.
Yeah.
And you also gave a recent one at the Tourism Association.
Yes, on
conference as well.
Wednesday. Yeah.
So walk us through the experiences with both of those and some of the major projects that you are currently working on within one, tourism, two, government holistically.
Okay. Well, first off, thank you again for having me on, and for those who are listening, I didn't get any PR out about being on the show. I'm not sure if you promoted it or not, but if you were listening and you have friends, call them up, tell them I'm on the radio. I would love for them to be a part of the conversation, because I do this for the people to be informed. The two parts is obviously the Cayman Tourism Association that I spoke at on Wednesday, which is being the Minister for Tourism. My job is to keep them updated about what's going on and many of the things that are topical. Obviously, we had slow season, but even extra slow season this year because of all the weather patterns at Beryl, Raphael. Then you had a few, bad days from the wave action that it caused an effect on the cruise side. And then obviously our airport was shut down because of the storm warnings.
Yes.
There's a lot of cancellations. So our slow season was a little bit slower than normal, which we are going to take a hit on the cruise side, $1 million less than what we projected. Okay. But thankfully, our tourism numbers were doing so much more than we projected. We were going to make a little bit, like close to $4 million more than we projected for this whole year. So we'll cover that $1 million loss on the cruise side and still have a $3.1 million surplus overall than what we projected. Sadly, if we didn't have all that weather patterns, we would have probably hit closer to the 2019 numbers, which is the historical year of stayover tourism.
Sure.
Cruise is still in trouble, as many people have heard me talk about. The numbers are going downwards. Besides a bump next year, for a short period of time, is projected to continue to go down afterwards. And that bump is because of like severe lobbying of the cruise lines. I went away just recently to speak with the Cruise Line Association and the CEOs of all the cruise lines, and I said, listen, man, I'm trying to persuade my people that this is the best way forward, but can you give me some juice in the game by adding a few calls on there against their own financial modeling. Because their financial modeling is that the long distance and the stoppages and stuff like that. So and there's other cruise lines who have naturally added things on, so it gave us a little bit of a bump. Where the failing is going to happen post 2025 is that some cruise lines would have had brought on their mega ships, and they and replace the other ships that were currently coming here now, and that's where the drop off will happen. So the bump up is begging, as well as some of the cruise lines are staying within that medium range, adding a few more calls throughout the year of 2025. So we're going to see that things go up a little bit by, I think it's like 2.5% or something like that in 2025. But I don't want people getting too excited about that, because the truth is just after that it's going to be a continuous fall if we don't have the cruise spare situation. So that's happening. The 7 Mile Beach beach erosion situation is severe and a matter of national importance. The government, and I announced this at CETA as well as the chamber luncheon yesterday, that the government sees this as a national economic and environmental emergency. In our personal view, we're trying to see where, from under the procurement perspectives of the law, what is deemed an emergency, because having it as an emergency allows us to move a little bit faster. When you're dealing with a multi-million-dollar initiative or investment, there's a lot of hurdles you got to get through to make sure it's done right and that there's money spent well, and that the cost benefit analysis is analyzed, the right people are chosen to do it and all that. So, but that takes a lot of time. You're talking about 3 or 4 business cases, and so we're worried about that because unfortunately we delayed addressing this problem for some time, and now it's really, really bad. There's property concerns, loss of property, and I personally think there's human life at risk, because you see structures that are not directly in the water now. There's some of them that were like business properties, like the Royal Palms, but it's not occupied. But then you see like the Marriott, the water's going underneath their pool structure, and then the building structures, 15 feet away. I don't think we have a lot of time to not address this problem. I don't know if people want to know why it wasn't resolved earlier, because there's some politics.
I actually would mind understanding, because I don't understand the full scope of why we've been talking about beach erosion for decades.
Yeah.
So, but there's not been, and I can appreciate there's probably some cost factors involved with this.
Yeah. Well, the sad reality is that, and one of the things I was trying to get away from is this unfortunate leaving of 4 members from the government just recently. By all means, we can't pretend that didn't happen, but a part of the conversation with the CETA, the Tourism Association, and all the stakeholders, as well as the Chamber and all its stakeholders, is giving them the confidence that the government is stable and intact, and we're going to be able to deliver and carry the government through until April, for when the people decide what the next administration will look like. But we couldn't avoid addressing the fact that 4 members left. And then the questions like the 7 Mile Beach, why it wasn't resolved. And there is, you've heard the other members get on the radio and other town hall meetings about it. And I really don't think that people want a petty back and forth about why they left and all that. But there is some questions that are going to come up, like, well, why have we waited this long to get to that point? And I'm trying my best to avoid all that, because whatever their personal decision to do what they did is up to them. They will have to say to the people about why they quit and didn't finish the job. I believe that regardless of disagreements and views, that and that always happens no matter what grouping you're with. The people expect us to handle those difficult times, manage them. It's not going to be a rosy thing, and no political administration across the globe goes without disputes and disagreements. That's what dialogue is about, is going through those points and your point, whether I'm right, you're wrong, and so forth, until you come to a conclusion. And sometimes even a conclusion is still not agreed to. You just have to live with the democratic principles of majority. And that's what people expect. So when you see a perfect administration, it isn't because there was no arguments, it's just because the political maturity to continue on, even when there is not a full majority on matters. And that's why the principles of collective responsibility and a minimum of agreement has to be done. Anyway, I say all that to say that I don't understand the principles of why they left, but that's for them and the voters and the country to go through that part. The 7 Mile Beach situation was obviously happening from when the previous leader was there. In the budget at that time, when the Honorable Wayne Panton, former premier, was in, there was a $20 million amount. I think it was $20 or $21 million amount allocated in the budget to do something about the beach renourishment. And I'm an adjacent stakeholder. I'm the Minister for Tourism. So though I'm not directly involved in the designing and the licensing for beach and water-related approvals, that falls under the Ministry of Sustainability, which deals with DOE, who gives permissions for anything within the water. So the former premier had it then. There was a lot of dispute about whether we should take the taxpayers' money, which is a lot of money, $21 million worth, to fix this area. And then afterwards, this dispute about, well, who's the beach for? Because, you know, that's still a very sensitive area. So there was not much of a resolution to that. There was a sentiment of feeling like, well, they should, you know, pay some of it too, because they were warned. People were saying, well, they were told not to build there, and they did it, and this is their own risk, and let them fall in the water. So there was no clear agreement, and it's like, well, the ministry who was responsible at that time, and the minister, the Honorable Wayne Panton, he was the premier. He could have given the directive as to, regardless of all of that, what the decision was. That was never resolved. That never came to my attention. I think that what transpired at that point was that there was supposed to be a sponsor ministry, because that ministry could not, the Ministry of Environment, which the premier was under, could not be the one to regulate as well as be the sponsor minister to deliver the project. So there was the talk about that responsibility being passed over to the now premier, the Honorable Juliana O'Connor Connolly. But what I can confirm is that the responsibility was transferred, but the money was never. So post him leaving, and dialogue and discussions is, okay, well, how could I do anything about it when you give me the money to do it? And I don't know why the money was never transferred. Okay. But I'm just giving you the facts. So then he leaves in December after the changeover in the government. And then you have a new minister. There was no monies allocated to it. But the new minister was the Honorable Catherine Wilkes. And the beach erosion was a problem then. And I must say that I've been asking for months about, well, what's happening? Because it looks like, as Minister of Tourism, well, what is happening? People think Minister of Tourism because the beach is gone. But that's the product that I promote. My job as Minister of Tourism is to go out across the world and promote this country so the money and the spend through the people will come back to the Cayman Islands. And I can't say, and I think that she will have to defend herself, but there was nothing brought to caucus about this matter in respect to resolving it until probably about a month and a half ago, after myself, and actually after Beryl. I recall that, you know, after Beryl, I particularly went to the location of Royal Palms after we were closing off our last hazard management meeting. And I zoomed in to the meeting rather than going in person intentionally to when the governor said, you know, what any other matters, I turned the camera around and said, we're talking about flooding. We're talking about trees and stuff like that because the hurricane had just passed. Yeah. And I said, this is another national issue. And I showed everybody how bad it was there. And I said, I expect the minister to start addressing this because I can't initiate it. I'm the Minister of Tourism. I don't deal with the environmental stuff. And if the issues that were there before and the plans that were started by the former premier, they were there with the Department of Environment and nothing moved forward. And I kept on saying over and over again. And that's why it surprises me today when there is discussions about, you know, the Sema Beach renourishment, when the minister who was responsible to start and deal with it was one of the ministers who left. So the thing that most people might want to know about now, though, is forget about the fact that somebody left.
Yes.
Forget about what happened, what transpired. What are we doing now?
What can we actually do to fix this?
Okay, so what I said in the delivery was that the government has now determined, and our viewpoint, that this is an economic and environmental national emergency. And we are willing to do whatever it takes to get the ball rolling as fast as possible. I met with the minister, the new minister now responsible, Honorable Dwayne Seymour, as the Deputy Premier, as well as one of the main key stakeholders being affected by the beach erosion problem. And we met with the heads, Department of Environment, and we have a plan of action.
Wow.
And the plan of action is good. The question now is, where does the money come from, and who pays for it? And I think that with the severity of it, I think the stakeholders out there some of them have already announced that they're willing to spend some money to resolve it. But those are smaller amounts, and some of them are doing trying to address the problem individually, like the Marriott. They've been working hard for years now, trying to present a plan of action for themselves. But having it in isolation with potential growings is only fixing your problem. It's not affecting the whole, which seems to be over about a mile. And I don't even know the exact spacing, but it's from just north of the Treasure Island all the way past what I know to be Dart's house.
Yes.
Just north of that. So it's a pretty long distance. So as much as I think that Marriott as a stakeholder is doing the responsible thing to hit their investors and their shareholders to fix the problem in isolation, it doesn't help with the whole image issue, and we need to do it on a holistic scale.
Okay.
So the plan of action now is to meet with them next week, all the stakeholders and the property owners in that area, particularly those that have a severe vested interest. Obviously Marriott does.
Sure.
They losing a lot of money because some of their customers are saying, hey, I thought this was a beachfront, this is oceanfront. Totally different thing for me.
Sure.
So they have a vested interest. Obviously the Dart Group has property investments there. They have an interest. I can't remember the gentleman, the Turkish gentleman's name, but he's publicly announced, a $3 million investment. So there is key stakeholders, and I don't want to go much further into saying some of those, but those who have the monies available to work in partnership with government, because if we are spending the public's purse to fix back that, but they're the beneficiaries, Cayman is the beneficiaries as well, because we benefit from the beautiful tourism product. Our own people walk the beach and enjoy it.
Foremost, yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's not like, say for instance, it's their fault, but we all have to say that we're in this together. The key part of the solution, though, is outside of agreeing to the initial renourishment strategy, is the medium and long-term strategy.
Well, that's the next one. Is it sustainable?
Yes.
What happens in 5 years if another storm comes through?
Well, I'm happy to talk about that, because that's the other thing I announced, is that the government has also agreed to make the necessary amendments to the Environmental Protection Fund and or their room accommodation tax that we charge visitors and guests. So that's how government raises money. We add on some more money on that. So over a period of time, 5-10 years, there'll be a fund over to the side waiting for if, in fact, this continues to happen again. And because of the weather concerns globally, beach erosion will probably continue to be an issue. So while that money is building up, so if, for example, hypothetically speaking, we have a $15 million problem right now, or $20 million problem right now, we figure it out amongst ourselves, government, private sector, stakeholders, let's renourish the beach right now. But the thing is, well, why you spend all that money? We're not sure if it's going to stay. Okay, hypothetically speaking, it might go away again. We create a strategy of beach renourishment every 10 years, because obviously what we've been told from the specialists within the weather forecasting and the environment is that it's the changing of weather patterns that is causing most of this. Some people believe it's mainly because of the seawalls, and I think that there is some level of truth to that. But until the wave action gets to the seawall, where it's affected by the pushback of hitting the seawall, its erosion is happening beforehand. Because if you look at some properties today, they're like probably 200 feet away from the property itself, but erosion will start to happen. But when it gets to the seawall level, then it's exacerbated a lot more, because the energy hits the wall and pushes the sand back out. So it's like that small ball that's rolling really slowly. When it hits a certain point, then it's just out of control. So and then there is the other factor of the properties that need to. I think we need to go to a break.
Yep.
Yes, let's go to the break, and I'll explain the rest of it when I get back.
Back with more talk today, right after the short commercial break.
Did you know ordering your favorite sandwich from Subway just got easier? Yeah, picture this. No more waiting in line. No more fussing with cash. Just a delicious taste of Subway at your fingertips. With our new app, ordering your go-to sub is as easy as a few taps on your phone. Plus, receive exclusive deals and earn loyalty points with every purchase made on the app. Download the new Subway app today and get ready to ditch the lines and drive straight into your flavor. Visit the App Store or Google Play Store on your mobile phone and search for Subway Cayman Islands. Subway. Eat fresh.
You deserve a unique vacation this year, one with easy non-stop flights from Cayman. Cayman Airways offers more non-stop flights to and from the Cayman Islands than any other airline. Now you can add Panama and Los Angeles to your travel bucket list. Skip the hassle of connecting flights. Panama is just a 2-hour non-stop flight from Cayman. And Los Angeles? Get there in less than 5 hours non-stop aboard Cayman Airways. Call 949-2311 or visit CaymanAirways.com to book your Los Angeles or Panama getaway today.
Stay cyber secure with Cayman National. Here are a few tips that will benefit you. Ensure to log out completely when you finish any online banking activities. Be aware of phishing attempts and only click links from trusted sources that are sent from your device through emails and messages. Remember, Cayman National will never ask you for your credentials. If you suspect a fraud attempt or that your account has been compromised, please immediately contact our customer support team at 949-8300.
This holiday season, let Kirk Market do the roasting so you can do the hosting. Visit in-store or shop online and order your traditional family feast, complete with classic roasted turkey and ham, all the tasty sides and trimmings. Let the chefs at Kirk Market be your holiday helpers so you can spend less time in the kitchen. Order online at kirkmarket.ky or visit in-store today. And don't forget to visit the florist at Kirk Market to find the perfect centerpiece for your table. There's no place like Kirk Market for the holidays.
Did you know that you can send money transfers to financial institutions anywhere in Jamaica with JN Money?
You mean I can send money straight to my account and cut out the middleman?
Yes, that's exactly what I mean. You send your own money to your own account, giving you peace of mind that the money is in your account.
JN Money Transfers to Financial Institution is another convenient service offered by JN Money. You can have this done from any JN Money location. Deposit your money straight to your account without the hassle of asking someone to do it for you. JN Money Transfers to Financial Institutions, making life easier.
Did you know that Doctors Hospital provides urgent care services 24 hours a day, 7 days a week? And Doctors Hospital's urgent care physicians have access to the most advanced MRI and CT imaging in the Caribbean, providing reliable diagnostics when you need it most. When you need quality urgent care for an illness or injury, Doctors Hospital is here for you 24/7. Whether it's a migraine, chest or abdominal pain, shortness of breath, broken bones, or another urgent need, Doctors Hospital at the top of Walker's Road. Urgent care right now.
Attention all runners, cyclists, fitness and sports enthusiasts. You are all invited to participate in the Lions Club of Grand Cayman PACE Annual Delano Hislop Memorial 5K, 10K and Cycle Journey for Life on Sunday, November 17th. Starting time 5:30 a.m. at the new location, Smith's Buccaneer, also known as Smith Cove, starting at 5:30 a.m. Register now online at Ticket Plus and Cayman Active. Registration fee $25, which include t-shirt and a goodie bag. For more information, call 938-7223. Proceeds in aid of Lions Club of Grand Cayman Prostate, Colon and Testicular Cancer Awareness Program.
Radio Cayman's Talk Today. What is on your mind, Cayman?
Welcome back to Talk Today. I'm Raymond Singh, filling in for Mr. Sterling Dwayne Banks.
That's I don't know if that part got on the radio, but that was my mother calling me just now. She said, "Canada down by Spellman, I want some food." I said, "Well, mommy, eat. I'm on the radio, gotta go."
My mom's watching the show right now. There's this funny moment when the NBA guy was doing a press conference, and his mom calls him. So he stops all the reporters and he answers the phone. He's like, "My mom's calling."
I should call her back. I'm like, "Hey, mommy, you're live on the radio. Let's talk about your personal eating habits." Yeah, so before we went to the break, I was just trying to wrap up the thought process in respect to the beach. renourishment strategy and the erosion problem. I think that there is a lot of truth to the buildings that have been built on the 7 Mile Beach. If we could all do it again, I think that we would all be smart enough to say, don't build so close to the ocean. But one of the things that, because I don't want to get into the technicalities of, they should never have built next to the beach. The fact is they're there, right? And they're billion-dollar investment properties. We can't, there's this thought that's out there that I hear, and I think it's a little unrealistic, which is, let them all knock it down. I just don't think that is one that is logical when you have other solutions, particularly like beach renourishment. So I mean, like we see strategies happening across the world right now where you can build a beach straight out into the ocean another 3 miles. Man and engineering practices are available to improve and protect. So did we get it right the last time? I don't think so. I mean, I've sat before politics and listened to our seniors talk about, what transpired back then and special approvals, and they were advised not to build there. And that may be all right, but it doesn't change the price of rice today. It is there now. Does the Marriott give us millions of dollars that I use to pay the seniors and pay for school and scholarships? Yes, we make money off of that. Have we given Caymanians the right to build close to the water? Planning and Department of Environment and previous governments, they are there. And I can't discriminate against those Caymanians. What we need to do is formulate plans moving forward. I would not approve people being built any more closer now, but it is what it is. And not only that, we have to think about the risk of potentially being sued. You think about it now, Ray. You are a millionaire. You won the jackpot. You won $517 million. This is not true, by the way, folks. Don't call them up and ask them for money.
Well, wishful thinking. Please let that come true.
So you won $517 million. And you said, you know what? I always wanted to live next to the beach. I've got money now. And I'm going to spend $110 million, and I'm going to build right next to the ocean. And, of course, the appeal of the ocean, you want to get as close to nature as possible. If the laws of the day allows you to get that close, and somebody, rightfully or wrongfully, allowed you to do that within law, you go do that, and then they come back later on and say, your building is going to go in the water. Don't you think you're going to fight and defend that? Remember now, this isn't a foreigner, because a lot of times we put thinking to one side because they're foreign. But what we got to realize is many of those owners down there are Caymanian. It's just that we don't see them as often because, opportunities of life have put them in a better situation that they can be in a little gated area or something like that. But they are Caymanian. And I'm talking about some of our own what we call generational Caymanian own properties there too. They own condos that are part of a strata. And,
yes,
I mean, when we think down there, most time people think, the big property on the Dart. Well, leave that alone, or the Marriott is a big corporation. But there's still Caymanians that have things. And I have to think about my job is I'm a representative of Caymanian people. So I have to think about that, whether they're new, whether they're old, whether they're generational or not. Once you're Caymanian, that's my role. That's my job description, is to represent that view. So I want us to be mindful of that, just in case our thinking is being biased because of maybe a foreign entity perspective. These are Caymanians. But even if they weren't, let's be logical about this. The practicality of taking what is being seen from the Treasure Island area all the way up to where it's damaged now. We're talking about easily close to $1 billion. Not a million, billion. And to what? Knock them all down? I mean, I just don't think it's illogical. And I do think that even the Department of Environment has recognized that now. We've been advised that the only way out of this is to renourish the beach. What we need to do to protect our beach lines moving forward is not to allow it to happen again. So that's the way I think is the most practical approach. In respect to resolving the current situation, now the biggest thing is how quickly can we do it, and who's going to pay for it and why. And I think we all have a bit of responsibility in this, because the high water mark is owned by the people as well. The rest of the beachfront that is lost is owned by those property owners. And then you have other complicated matters like where were they? Where was the boundary marker
Oh yeah,
before?
that's the next part, right?
Yeah.
I want my beach line now there now.
Yeah. So obviously these are the complicated matters that need to be resolved, while at the same time we need to get something done, because I'm telling you, as the Minister of Tourism, we're getting some serious reputational damage now to our product.
I can imagine.
You know, and that's why the urgency of this. I think they were crying over spilled milk. I think we just need to get something done. And I'm hoping, I feel confident after conversations with that ministry, with the director of the Department of Environmental Health, that we can move and get something agreed to. And I think the stakeholders in that area also are willing to put their money up to assist and collaboratively get that resolved, with a long-term plan in mind that, okay, I'm not just going to invest my money to fix something that everybody benefits from, and knowing it's going to be lost in 10 years. So it's about fixing it now, with a long-term plan in mind, with a fund that will build up over years, that if it comes back again, we can continue to re-nourish it. So that's where the government is at.
And with so tourist season's coming up here very soon,
yes.
right? Rainy season's about to come to an end. How soon are we seeing this project start, finish, ready to go? And I know it's a hard question.
Yeah, it is.
So much moving parts right now.
Yes, it's.
But is there an ETA?
I can't give you one now. I honest to God really wish I could. I was looking for trying to be something that I can say tangible to mention to the chamber and CETA, but it is really has to do with those investments and the costing and the agreed approach. So DOE is working with a particular engineer, marine engineer, about what's the best solution. He and his team has to finalize that, and I have to wait on their timelines. I think that the DOE director did say that it was almost finished the last time. So because the design was done a year and a half ago, that previous one now needs to be updated, because there's been a lot more loss of beach since then.
Sure.
So there needs to be a little bit of updating from there. And the biggest part that's going to take the longest time is actually the payment. Who pays for it? Because if government has to do it, there's rules and regulations that we have to abide by, which is important to make sure that the money is being spent right. If the private sector does it themselves, we are willing to give the approval for the engineering options to be dealt with, and they can procure it. So if private sector, hypothetically speaking, amongst those property owners to say, listen, we've had enough for you, government. We're going to take the $20 million and we're going to do it. Just give us the approval. We are ready to do that. Gotcha. But if we have to put money in it, we have an obligation to the people's taxpayers' money to make sure it's done in the right way. It's just the way the system works.
Procurement process.
Process,
yeah,
right?
It's there for a reason. It's to prevent anybody abusing the system.
Correct.
We do have one caller on the line. Good afternoon, caller. Thank you for calling Talk Today.
Yeah, hello. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon, Dr. Premier.
Thank you. Good afternoon, sir.
How you doing?
Not too bad, not too bad. Long couple of weeks, but, working it through, thanks to the good Lord.
Yeah. Well, that's good, man. That's good. Just listening to your conversation and catching a little bit of it in and out of lunch, and I have some quick questions, or a couple questions. Let's start with the last one first. The last point that you were making earlier in regards to what you're calling the breach, or what's been called the beach renourishment project. I don't know if that's like the scientific name for it. But when I think of renourishment, I think about my mother telling me about nourishing my children.
Yeah.
And it doesn't sound adequate enough in my view when I hear that, so I don't know what that entails. But, it's a serious point, and you talked about it not being practical when we talk about tearing down structures and what that entails. The Deputy Premier can tell you, I left the service in 2013, and from then we were dealing with it, as we all know, for many, many years. But it was small to what we got now. You stopped at the conglomerate, Mr. Dart's property. The last photos I saw, and the gentleman who was taking those photos said that property came all the way down to about, I want to say he said near Lone Star.
Yeah, I said north of that property. So it could be up a couple of properties up from that, maybe 2 or 3 properties above the Dart property.
Right. So before that, it was never that far down.
Agreed.
And so what we're really dealing with is not just a renourishment thing, but really stopping it. We can't deal with a renourishment thing right now. And I believe that there's a view out there that, I mean, has that been considered?
Stopping what exactly?
Stopping the erosion completely.
How would you go about stopping the erosion? If
I don't know how to do that, but I can tell you that if we believe that the start of it was as a result of having structures too close to the sea, we need to take some strong measures, and I don't know if the renourishment would necessarily be all that we need to do. I'm not asking for you to solve this.
No. I hear you. When you hear me ask you a question back, it's only because maybe there's something that you know that I'm unaware of. Not because I'm trying to put it on you, because it's definitely not on you.
Yes.
So just to answer or give some input to that question, I agree with you that we have to stop what's causing it. But again, this has to do with, and I'm going to really try to get the DOE to try to give more explanation to the realities of what's causing this, because the information that we're receiving behind closed doors is not only beach walls or the fact that they built closer. Sorry. The weather patterns globally are changing, and we've had some data. Interestingly enough, there was a very interesting video that was done at the chamber yesterday. It was presented by I can't remember the engineer, the global engineer, that talks about why the unique pattern of sand flow for West Bay or for the 7 Mile Beach, which the sand goes up north and it comes back down south, up north, come back down south, and that is done by nor'westers and hurricanes throughout the year. The storms that go up south and go down south and come up north. So there seems to be, and there was an equilibrium over the years that caused this 7 Mile Beach, but that equilibrium seems to be changing, and then we're getting storms that are more on one side of things, whether it's going north, than are actually storms that are going north and less coming south, which is the nor'westers that we are accustomed to. We're not seeing as much, and they showed us some data where the numbers of those storms are decreasing while the other ones are increasing, which could be a component to whether this sand situation is there, while compiled and being exacerbated by the fact that people have built so close to the ocean in the first place. So I'm not suggesting that the walls should have been built. That's not what I'm talking about. I believe in what are we going to do now? And when you speak about the nourishment, it's just replacement of sand, because that sand acts as a barrier from further erosion. And the solution may just simply be a constant renourishment or replacement of sand every 10 or 12 or 7 or 8 years. I don't know, whatever the specialists say it is, and create a fund to be able to fund that. So that's it.
Caller, I do have to hold you there. We have to go to our 1:45 commercial break, and we do have a line of callers waiting on hold.
If you don't mind, I would just want to make sure, because I took up a lot of his time.
Please, yes.
Yeah. Have him on hold. After you come out from the break, go back to him and then allow him to finish, because I took up his time.
Happy to do so. Caller, just stay on hold, please. Back to More Talk Today, right after this.
Stay cyber secure with Cayman National. Here are a few tips that will benefit you. Ensure to log out completely when you finish any online banking activities. Be aware of phishing attempts and only click links from trusted sources that are sent from your device through emails and messages. Remember, Cayman National will never ask you for your credentials. If you suspect a fraud attempt or that your account has been compromised, please immediately contact our customer support team at 949-8300.
You deserve a unique vacation this year, one with easy non-stop flights from Cayman. Cayman Airways offers more non-stop flights to and from the Cayman Islands than any other airline. Now you can add Panama and Los Angeles to your travel bucket list. Skip the hassle of connecting flights. Panama is just a 2-hour non-stop flight from Cayman. And Los Angeles? Get there in less than 5 hours non-stop aboard Cayman Airways. Call 949-2311 or visit CaymanAirways.com to book your Los Angeles or Panama getaway today.
Accidents and illnesses can strike without warning. Ouch! When it comes to urgent care, every second counts. At Doctors Hospital, we have a dedicated team of experienced doctors and nursing staff available to you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Don't waste time in an overcrowded emergency room when you need urgent care. Whether it's a broken bone, a severe infection, or a sudden illness, trust in Doctors Hospital's unwavering dedication to providing the best immediate care. For complete urgent care when you need it the most, choose Doctors Hospital, located in Georgetown, 16 Middle Road.
Freedom, Cayman Brack. Freedom, Little Cayman. Soft breezes, blue waters, no traffic. Unwind and rejuvenate your mind, body, and soul. Sister Island Staycations, a taste of freedom. Discover all that our sister islands have to offer.
Fall into savings at Brand Source Home Gallery with their 54th anniversary sale. Enjoy store-wide savings on brands like Monogram, Cafe, Fisher & Paykel, Samsung, LG, GE, Beko, Uline, Foster, Thor, Elica, and more. Get from 15% up to 40% off on premium appliances. Transform your bathroom with savings on Duravit, Toto, Moen, Palazzani, Badenhaus, and more. And don't miss out on 20% off cabinets and custom closets just in time for the holidays. Come celebrate the 54th anniversary with a store-wide sale at Brand Source Home Gallery, now through November 16th. Located on Dorsey Drive, Industrial Park, or call 623-5000 for details.
Diabetes mellitus was the fourth cause of death of Cayman residents in 2022. Yet the STEPS 2023 National Health Survey results tell us that 50% of Cayman residents who've been diagnosed with diabetes have never had a foot examination, an important preventative measure against serious infection and amputation. The Ministry of Health and Wellness wants to empower you with information that can change your life. Log on to www.gov.ky/steps to learn more. Let's step into wellness together, Cayman.
Radio Cayman's Talk Today. What is on your mind, Cayman?
Welcome back to Talk Today. This is Ray Singh filling with Sterling Dwayne Ebanks in the studio, the Honorable Deputy Premier. We do have one caller who's been patiently waiting on hold. Caller, are you back still with us?
Yes, I am.
Good afternoon. If I can just ask you to keep it brief, because we do have a few callers behind you.
Thank you very much, Deputy Premier. Thank you for that information. And I guess instead of having a back and forth, and sharing, I'll say some of my things as opinions, if you will.
Yeah.
Thank you for that very vital information that you just shared. There's a part of me that want to reject that only because we seem to come up with reasons for so many things when sometimes the answers are right before. So I am part of that mindset that says we know where it started. And I don't think that the government, not necessarily even just this government, but any future government, because obviously we have an election in just a few months, we have to make that a priority, and we should not take off the table the whole consideration about whether we may have to remove some structures. We may have to look at that. You said it's not realistic. I'm of the mindset that if we send people to the moon, everything is realistic. It may cost us. It may cost a lot of people. We have a lot of legal minds. I just don't want it to be taken off the table in favor of a renourishment. The last thing I'll say is in regards to another point that you made in regards to the cruise ship numbers. What I'll say to this is I saw a report by Ms. Dukaran some time ago. It was a few months back. And I looked specifically at what she was sharing in regards to spaces that had piers. And that was not the gist of her report, but I know those places have piers. I'm thinking of Bermuda, for example, where I've gone 3 times. They have 3 different locations, and numbers were falling. And I don't want to say this, Premier, Deputy Premier, is that I know you're an advocate given the role that you're at now, to an extent, and you have the broader country in mind, and there's that dynamics. But don't take off the fact that we are a highly sought-after destination. I see that our stayover numbers are going up, thank God. That's a beautiful thing.
But actually, the stayover numbers haven't, they're increasing, but they haven't gone up past the high point of 2019.
No, they haven't. But I heard the news released the other day, the 6 o'clock news, talking about the fact that our revenues are the revenues, something to that effect.
Correct.
Which is what's great. I mean, you can have 5 people if your revenues are higher then when you had 10, then that's okay.
Yeah.
So all I'll say to this, Deputy Premier, is that there are cases out there where the cruise ships have purposely chosen to not go to those destinations, and they do have piers. And so not every place have numbers. I looked at her scene report. I think it was Jamaica that was just right next to us. There were actually a fall in number in Jamaica, and I suspect that if they're not including a Cayman on their western itinerary, it affects also the stop in Jamaica. At least that's what we were told some time ago, and given our closeness. So we have to take some pinch of salt is what I'm suggesting, and I'll leave it there because I know we have other callers. Thanks for being gracious and asking for me to stay on hold.
Caller, I obviously I know who you are, and we are good friends, right? And I really need the time to examine it, because dialogue is important for the public to hear all sides of things, and I'm glad that you presented your viewpoint. And I am not doing, or I'm not taking the position I've taken because now I'm the Minister of Tourism. I've taken the position now because I've been informed of the realities. I've seen the other ports. I also know the numbers of the other ports. You may, and believe this or not, people will give you information that is relevant to their argument. Naturally, I will do the same. But there are other locations that are improving their numbers. If you use just Bermuda, but did anybody say anything to you about Bahamas or Turks and Caicos or Barbados in respect to their numbers? Of course, there's a component of the Jamaica being close in proximity, and it works well on the itinerary, and their numbers are going to be down. But the numbers are not only down because of Jamaica, because of Cayman. The numbers are down because the product is different from us. And the other element about putting in all the money, the models that are available are models that we don't have to pay for it, and if you don't bring the passengers, you never get the money back, so there's no risk. So there is options, and I know those realities. I've also understood how the economics of how the cruise tourism industry helps Cayman and directly Caymanians. The other part to that is, hypothetically speaking, and I will respect the people's will, if they say they don't want the cruise pair and the numbers continue to decline, things go away, no problem. In order for us to make back up that loss, let's say we want to focus on stay over, because people like stay over better. That means more hotels need to be built. That means more land mass that need to be taken. How I see cruise now today is that's a major hotel who comes in every day and leaves every day. If you think about 6,000 people or 4,000 people on a ship, that's a hotel that you don't have to build in any property. And I know that I want to really apologize to the callers, but they're the ones that are waiting. Because sometimes what ends up happening is somebody puts something out there into the universe, and if you don't respond to it, it's seen as fact. I respect the caller before, but I don't agree with his viewpoint in that. The beach renourishment part about we have to open our minds to withdrawing some of the walls. Of course, our minds are open to everything. But my job, as I've always committed to, is to make practical decisions using common sense. Have we done wrong in respect to those walls? I think there's a level of more in favor of that argument than against. But it's not only the wall. Even if you take the wall away, will the erosion stop? And what we're seeing is that, say for instance, in front of Royal Palms, right now, if you want to take a little walk down there, if you get a chance, the wall is no longer there. And the erosion continues to happen. And I can promise you, if we just did nothing right now, with a wall no longer there, the buildings will eventually go. So I trust me, I'm more in that thinking, but I have to be practical, especially when you have a solution. This is a solution that is used worldwide, which is renourishing the beach with the sand that has gone away. And you can suck it up from the ground, from under the ocean where it's been pushed away. So I know that we got to go to a break, and we have the news. And I want, but I want us to be open-minded to this. I'm not that person that is super in favor of people who've taken advantage of the opportunity, particularly for our beaches. Should they have built there? No, I agree with that. But we do have a problem that we need to fix, because I would love to see, our seniors who go walk down the beach on the whole 7 miles of it, and that is real. Let's not cut off our nose to spite our face, is what I'm saying in that respect. Yeah?
Oh, I think of that. We do have 1 minute till we go to the Retro Game Headline News. We did have one caller on the line. They have actually come off, so is the caller still on the line? Caller, if you can just hold on until after our 2 p.m. headline news, we'll come right to right away.
Yeah.
To your comment about the really quick about the how you view the cruiser. It's an interesting way of looking at it. It's a hotel that comes in every day and then leaves. It doesn't take up any permanent structure on our land. It's other than the pier of the dock that is in discussion.
Yeah.
They come and go.
Yeah.
And that's the beauty of it. And they bring with them tax money that goes right back into the community. So
Correct. There's pros. There
are pros to both sides.
Yeah, because if we were to replace that injection, I know we're going to break, but if we were to replace the cruise industry with stayover industry, are we prepared to then say build another hypothetically 5 hotels? Are we? Those people have to have employees right now for those hotels. Where are they going to stay? That's one of the arguments I had in my debate is the population growth and the fact that the demand is having in the rental market and the housing market. There's a domino effect. Remember the thing we talked about in the off air?
Absolutely.
The domino effect, and that's what I'm worried about. But we got to go to a break.
On that note, let's go to our 2 p.m. headline news. We come back. We sit down with more with the Honorable Deputy Premier, Mr. Kenneth Bryan. Back with more talk today right after this.
This is the People's Radio Station. Radio Cayman in the Cayman Islands. From Radio Cayman's newsroom, this is Headlines.
The headline news is brought to you by Kirk Market.
With a look at your latest headlines, I'm Jevi Ebanks. The Ministry of Health will host a regional meeting from the 19th to the 21st of November in Grand Cayman to strengthen the Caribbean's response to mosquito-borne diseases. Organized by the UK Health Security Agency, PAHO and the World Health Organization, CARVACNet and CARPA, the event aims to combat rising dengue cases. Premier Juliana O'Connor Connolly supports the initiative, emphasizing a unified approach. Participants will discuss the World Health Organization's Global Arbovirus Initiative and explore collaborative strategies. The event will also highlight the efforts of the Cayman Islands Mosquito Research and Control Unit. Dr. Alan Wheeler stressed the importance of regional cooperation to enhance public health resilience. In regional news, a Trinidad High Court judge has scheduled July 21st through the 23rd next year for the defamation trial of Youth Development and National Service Minister Foster Cummings against opposition UNC legislator Jayanti Ramdal. Justice Kangaloo set the date after ruling on evidential objection. Cummings claims defamation from Ramdal's disclosure of special branch report at a UNC meeting back on May 2022. Cummings argues the report was confidential. He sought an injunction to stop further posts, which was dismissed. Cummings also filed a constitutional claim against the state over the leaked report, seeking compensation for privacy violations and misuse of information. In Antigua, the Director of Education, Claire Brown, confirmed the expulsion of a 15-year-old student who brought a firearm to the Clare Hall Secondary School in September. The student was spotted with the weapon, leading to a lockdown and search by law enforcement. Although the weapon was not found, the student admitted to bringing a loaded gun with 6 or 7 rounds to school during a meeting with his parents. The Ministry of Education decided to expel the student, reflecting a zero-tolerance policy for weapons in school. 7 other students involved were placed on behavioral contracts. The expelled student will not return to any public secondary school, but will receive support to continue his education through alternative means. The student faces charges under the Firearm Act and was granted bail after initially being remanded. That is your latest headlines. I'm Jevi Ebanks.
www.radiocayman.gov.ky. Check out our social media pages: Facebook, YouTube, X, formerly Twitter, Radio Cayman Headline News.
This holiday season, let Kirk Market do the roasting so you can do the hosting. Visit in-store or shop online and order your traditional family feast, complete with classic roasted turkey and ham, all the tasty sides and trimmings. Let the chefs at Kirk Market be your holiday helpers so you can spend less time in the kitchen. Order online at kirkmarket.ky or visit in-store today. And don't forget to visit the florist at Kirk Market to find the perfect centerpiece for your table. There's no place like Kirk Market for the holidays.
36 world finalists from 12 countries, 3 winning teams, and 1 global competition. It's the 2024 Young Chef, Young Waiter, Young Mixologist World Finals. This November 22nd to 24th in Singapore, and the Cayman Islands is in the finals. Cayman's Young Chef Champion, Brittany Bodden, Young Waiter Champion, Steph McDermott, and Young Mixologist Champion, Cody Wright, will be competing for the ultimate prize of $15,000. Join us in cheering on our young professionals, tomorrow's leaders in hospitality and service, as they represent the Cayman Islands on the world stage. Supported by the Ministry of Planning, Agriculture, Housing, Infrastructure, Transport, and Development. Radio Cayman Talk Today continues.
And welcome back to Talk Today. In case you're just tuning in, we have in studio the Honorable Deputy Premier, Mr. Kenneth BRYAN, here discussing a diversity of issues. We've covered a few from the port to beach replenishment. But we do have one caller on the line. Good afternoon, caller. Thank you so much for your patience. Hello. Good afternoon, caller. What's up? Hello. Caller on WhatsApp.
Hello.
Hello. Good afternoon. Thank you so much for your patience.
Hello, caller, you there?
Sorry, I'm not. This
Caller seems to be breaking up pretty badly. We'll give it a couple seconds to see if the text sorts itself out.
Hello?
Yep. Can you hear us now, caller?
Yeah. Can you hear me now?
We can hear you. Listen.
Oh, Jesus.
I think if you give him an opportunity to call back, we'll make sure that he gets priority.
We
definitely
will.
Sounds like he's not in a good zone because you can hear the echoing. So, if we have another
caller.
caller.
All right, caller, we're going to disconnect here on this call. We do encourage you, if you can, give us a call back once you're able to get some stronger signal. So, on that note, let's jump over to, while waiting for the caller. Previously, the other day, we had in the studio again the Association for Cruise Tourism Act, the new organization that's come up. Stakeholders in wanting to see the port project come to fruition.
Yeah.
They were talking about the numbers, and you briefly touched upon them just now. The numbers that were going to go up in 2025, the slight increase, before we start seeing compounded losses year on in from that point.
Correct.
Roughly 5%.
Yeah.
That's what they were saying.
Yeah.
So when the group was in the studio the other day, they had been to, I believe it was St. Martin for the Caribbean Tourism Conference.
Yes.
And one of the data points they were bringing up was that Caribbean region-wise was seeing an 18% increase in tourism figures.
Mm-hmm.
Conversely, Cayman was seeing a, correct me if I'm wrong, 35% decrease in those same, not dollar figures, but in volume of passengers.
Correct.
The question I had to them was, and they weren't able to really get me any answer on this one, are there any other regions in the Caribbean that are seeing a decrease in tourism? Then the next question follow up with that be, do they or do they not have a port?
Yeah, good analysis to break down, because you're trying to find out what is the real cause of the drop.
Correct.
To justify, do we need really a port?
Exactly, yeah.
To solve the problem, because somebody who's in the middle, well, going, oh, I don't want to be against the port, but I don't want the cruise industry to suffer. So you want to go through the thought process of, it is the pier itself that really is causing the problem.
Correct.
So there's a number of factors, and I can only tell you what we have analyzed and what we've been told. And again, much of the information comes from the cruise industry. And most people go, okay, you can't trust them. I said, okay, fair enough. I agree with you. They have a vested interest to be a little bit slight with the truth, if I dare say that, because everybody's going to protect their own interests. But they have said before, this is going to happen. And if I say to you, don't touch the fire, and you're touching it hot, you get, and then they say, listen, don't touch the fire again. And you go touch it, what do you think is going to happen?
No,
it is pretty simple, right? So I'm going to use the terminology of trust but verify, and Arden always taught me that, right? The former leader of opposition, the Honorable Arden McLean, he said, trust but verify. So we have done our analysis. I don't necessarily put my heart with the cruise lines. They're a business, and the business are going to look out for themselves.
Sure.
But there is mutual benefit in some businesses, and in this case, this is one of them. So, for example, the thinking of building a pier and the costs associated. Some people say, well, what if we build a pier and we put all this cost and then they're gone? There's easy ways to solve that. We build a pier, you have to obligate that you're going to bring X amount of people over X period of time. So there's risk-free options that we can resolve. So the argument that you're making about, well, the numbers are down in different places for different reasons can be resolved. If I say there's a guarantee, all right, if you don't come, then you have to pay us back X amount of money, 200 million, hypothetically speaking, right, depending on whatever the pier costs. So you can resolve that. So you don't have to worry about the numbers. If for some reason the people are not coming, then there's a bigger problem afoot. And I think the variables that are involved now is, one, location, two, the travel distance to that location, and the zones. So we're in the midsection to the west. You got the East Coast, which is Bahamas, Barbados, and the East Lesser Antilles Islands. We don't really get a lot of their cruises. Our cruises are the ones from the north, Bahamas, Jamaica, Cayman, Mexico, Cancun. Those are the ones, right? And so when they say Bermuda numbers are down, Bermuda is we almost up to New York. It's a totally different zone. So you see how somebody is using information, and I was trying to say that to my friend who was calling just now, that Bermuda is a totally different scenario. And there's other factors that are developing globally from the fuel and environmentally friendly elements. So they have international standards now that they have to travel at a slower speed to burn less fuel for less emissions, and these are other factors that factor into their model of where they stop. Remember now, let me tell you, one thing that is constant, I know we have to call it, but I'll just say this. One thing that is constant in this is the need and greed for money, and I am not stupid to that, right? They want to do what is in the best interest of them to make them money. Now, they're not going to, if they see that without a pier it's not going to make sense to them, they ain't going to come. If they're going to continue to make money in the Cayman Islands, if it made money for them, then our numbers wouldn't be down now. Because, tell me, okay, we're down 35%. If Cayman was the diamond that we talk about, and I believe it's our diamond, but I'm biased here, I'm a Caymanian, so of course my home is the best. But if Cayman is so wonderful that it is, that these cruise lines have to come back, why do we have a 35% down now? There has to be a reason, right? Because people don't just leave money on the floor. Cruise lines don't look at their models and their shareholders and say, oh, Cayman is really nice and we can make some good money out of it, but we're not going to go just because it doesn't have a pier. There's a factor. And most of the things that drive human beings, I hate to say this because God talks about it in the Bible, is money. And if we're saying that a pier is a factor that factors into that money equation for them, no problem. You say that's what it is. I don't trust you very much. So let's put it in a contractual agreement that if you don't come, you have to pay us, or even more back than that. So when you think about it, there's no reason that there has to be a factor. Why 35% loss? People don't just leave money around, Ray. And this is the concept, because it's a very complicated equation. And if you want to, you can twist it however you want to find a solution that you want. I'm telling you, I'm one of those people who are on the other side of it, right? There has to be a reason why I put my political credibility on the line to say, I was there, I saw that, and I am now convinced differently because I've been able to see all the equations. And if my people know me well, I'm a straight shooter. I've always been, and I'm here for the games of things. My job is to make sure that people of this country get a good opportunity for survival economically. And I think about the options that are available to us. It's not as bad as you think. This reminds me, honest to God, this reminds me of the West Bay Road situation when the Honorable former Premier McKeever Bush, and some people might say, oh, you shouldn't have used that example in McKeever Bush. But anyway, it is what it is. You know how many people fought against that road? But today, The people of West Bay can get from West Bay to town in less than 9 minutes. They don't get stuck in traffic every single day like the people in Barton Town, East End, and North Side, who are balling right now for a little bit more time that they can sleep in the morning and have to get up so early. But sometimes we have, and I hate to say it, but sometimes we have this thing where we're trying to stop a lot of things that are most logical. And as soon as we do it, we go, oh, it makes sense now. You know, and I feel that this cruise pier is falling in that trap. And I'm not going to be a hypocrite to say that I wasn't one of them. But I can acknowledge your job is to be able to see and recognize, okay, well, think differently in this respect. And you know what? Let me go to the caller because I think it's unfair to that caller.
Actually,
I'll be talking all day.
We have a 2:15 commercial break. Let's go to our quick last break. No. Actually, you know what, caller? We'll take you first.
Yes.
A break or?
Good afternoon, caller. You're on the line with us. Thank you for your patience.
Thank you very much. I'm just curious about which topic we should talk about first, but just to be quick, there's a lot of topics going on here. The beach. I don't want to hurt anybody's feelings or little children on the line, but I think if you try to put sand back on the beach, I think it's there's a saying, it's called pissing into the wind. Because, right, 7 Mile Beach was never 7 Mile Beach. It was always 5 Mile Beach, and that was for a long time. And now it's 3 Mile Beach. And soon there will be no beach. No matter how much sand, no matter how much power you put into it, you will never beat nature. And I agree with Mr. Bryan, actually, for once. Moving back all of the buildings and everything will cost billions and billions, like a lot of money that nobody wants to pay. And then when you move back, unless it's a little bit higher, what are you doing it for? Because the water will still encroach, right? So just my first point. I think it's a losing game. We really need to think about the future of the Cayman Islands in the world that we live in. We shouldn't be cutting CO2 and all that kind of stuff because we are such a tiny contributor. We should be trying to survive. On tourism, cruise ship versus stayover, we know that tourism in a total is only 6% of the GDP. Finance industry is about 40%, then duties on imports, and then the next one is, I forgot. Next one, duties, there's construction, and one other one. So tourism is actually very, very small part of the GDP. As we learned over COVID, we could survive for 2 years without it, and all we did was give out $1,200, $1,500 to people, and sometimes to many people who actually didn't work in tourism, and actually to people who were in jail at the time. Sorry, Mr. Bryan, but go watch. So all these things happen. So tourism is actually a very, very small part. We should be focusing on attracting the part that gives us the much money, which is finance industry, just my 2 bits. And then, like, building, and, like, we don't need a cruise ship terminal. Heaven forsakes. We do not need that. If the cruise ships don't want to come, don't let them come. What it will do is it will make the Cayman Islands a more unique place to be, especially if we focus on high-end stay-over tourism. Absolutely. I know you're building a little special thing at the airport for the high-end people, all the rich and famous, and blah, 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 blah. But the rich and famous won't want to come here when we have no beach, all right? So we got to really think about that.
So caller, if I understand you correctly, you're in favor of resolving the beach situation, but not the cruise pair, and to stay and focus on stayover more than cruise.
Absolutely, I believe stayover situations. That's where the money is at. That's where exclusivity is at, and I think that is what you need to promote. You don't need to promote people from the lower Bible Belt states coming down here with banana hammocks hanging out and walking downtown. Never buy a Rolex. You know, I'm sorry, and I hate to be saying that.
No, don't be hating. That's your viewpoint. You're a Caymanian. You're allowed to say that, big brother. Don't feel bad saying it. Never do that.
But actually, I'm not Caymanian. I'm only married to a Caymanian, so I'm not even allowed to vote.
You're an in-law then.
I've been here 11 years. Right? I've been here a while. I've seen it. I've done it. And I love aspects of it, and I hate others. And partly politics, I hate it. This is like the first time I called in because I was just.
That's
there's
good.
So much going. There's so much going on with you guys right now. It's not even funny.
Yeah, I agree with you, bro.
And that needs to be sorted out first of all, because no one trusts anybody, and the public don't trust anybody. So now we moved on to politics, but
that's okay. We're here to talk about anything, man.
Because soon it goes from politics to sex and then something else, right? we don't need that.
You might have jumped a few steps there. you might.
Just don't bring up the religion. We'll be good.
Okay, so I've got the beach, I've got cruise. What was the other topic you were on? You talked about so many things. Just one thing I would tell you is, please, I think an early election is best. Don't play games with the opposition. Don't do that. I know everyone says, "Oh, we're not going to pass any important legislation and all that kind of stuff," but really, what are we waiting for? We're just waiting for the inevitable.
Date has been set.
Well,
and I know disenfranchising some voters, but how many are there? 30?
Well, actually, there's a lot more than you think. It's like close to 2,000 people who are eligible. Matter of fact, there's up to 5,000 who are eligible, but they're estimating about 2,000 people who've already been put in the system that wouldn't make the line if we did earlier.
And can you believe this?
Mm-hmm.
One of my friends, he's gone. He's left. He's left the island. He went on to nicer pastures, but he said, I don't want to become Canadian because I'm going to have to register to go to be on the jury."
Mm-hmm.
And he goes, when I go on the jury, I don't get paid money. And if I go on a jury that's trying to decide whether Bush is guilty or not guilty, that could take a few weeks, and that's a lot. And that's a lot of money, right? So. Well, but you were in partnership with a man who abused a woman, accused of rape, fraud with his credit cards, also going in partnership with Czech, which is the Chinese company, over the cruise ship dock while bypassing all the normal routes of government. And he can only, I've seen his emails, he can only type at a grade 6 level. Can he speak? Yeah, he's been reading some good books lately. But we're still dealing with that same man 30 years on. And it's just wrong.
So, caller, I'm going to have to, unfortunately, challenge you a little bit here now because I think you said I'm in partnership with, and I respect my job tremendously, and I also respect the good people of West Bay West. They have their democratic right to choose who they want.
By 40 votes.
And one second. That's okay. It doesn't matter whether it's 40 or 1. I committed to the people of Georgetown Central that I will respect the other people who are in the posts that those constituencies have sent. Do I agree with Mr. Bush's behavior in most cases? No. But I'm not going to forget my job and my role. And my role is to work with those who have been elected to get the job done. Listen, I'm not responsible for his career choices. Neither he responsible for mine because I'm not an angel either. But to say that
I know who you are, and that's okay. And I forgive you, but I can't forgive someone who keeps on doing it over and over and over again.
I see what you mean. And you know, that's the thing about democracy. The people will have their say, and that's what I believe in. And that democracy part also goes into a referendum because when we speak about the cruise fare, you may have a viewpoint and you say, well, okay, these hamburger cruise passengers who come, those people also spend money with strong Cayman companies that, like, say, the Kellys, there is the ones who do the Turtle Farm tours, the ones that do the Stingray City tours. There's a lot of money that...
Remember, it's not called Turtle Farm anymore. Come on.
Turtle Center.
I call it, listen, you can call it whatever you want. I'm an old school Cayman, it's Turtle Farm. If you want to call it Turtle Center, for those who are woke, it's called Turtle Farm because you know what? When the Cayman started it was a farm to eat turtle meat.
Yes, I know what it is.
Okay. All right. So it is Turtle Farm for my Caymanians, and for the new people who say Turtle Center, they'll get it, right? But I keep it at Turtle Farm because I'm old school like that, right?
Right. But that's one thing you need to realize about tourism.
Okay.
Nobody wants to hear Turtle Farm anymore. No one wants.
No, I know.
No one wants to hear about anybody eating a turtle. Nobody. None of your visitors want to go, damn, oh, this is to save the turtles, and you are losing how many millions per year, and which you could put into DOE enforcement, and you would get like 20 new officers being out there on the boat every day, and you could create Turtle Farm into a true turtle center.
Can I ask you a question?
Replenishing.
Can I ask you a question? Do you think that Caymanians should be eating turtle?
Ceremoniously, maybe.
Okay. Because if we don't have a turtle farm, the only place that Caymanians are going to be able to get their culturally meat that they grew up on and that they built this society on is through the wild. And then those who conserve the environment are going to have a different story than they're going to say you're eating it from the wild. So having that turtle center actually helps us to prevent from people going into the wild and taking the wild.
Well, that's a theory, but it's the wrong theory.
Okay.
So
Sir.
I'll just give you a little history lesson.
Sir, actually,
let him finish, and
one
after
minute.
this we have to wrap it up, sir. Let him finish.
Sorry, back in the 1700s, there was no big animals on this island. There was nothing, right? People had to eat. And one of the greatest things out there was turtles. Hundreds of turtles, thousands of turtles. They could bring them in every day and eat. But it was because they had to. Not because they said, ooh, I like turtle over beef. No, of course not. They just liked it and learned it and blah, 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 blah. We live in a different age. It doesn't have to happen anymore. We have grocery stores. We have everything. Let the turtles go and be on their own. Even so with the cultural dish. Why not call KFC the cultural dish, for heaven's sakes? I find more people eating that than turtle. And the sales of turtle meat are going way, 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 way down. And that's the number one losing factor at the Turtle Farm or Turtle Center or whatever we want to call it. We could reinvent that place and make it way better. We just need someone with enough gumption to say, okay, we're not selling turtle meat anymore, we're doing this or that, and you know what? And we're putting the money that was into cutting up turtles and selling them, we'll put that money into DOE.
Caller, we have to let you go there. I do appreciate you calling in and sharing all your viewpoints. You've had a few valid points in there. Thank you so much.
I just want to say, just for the record, you have your opinion and I have mine. And as long as I'm a representative of the good people of the Cayman Islands, and it's our culture to have turtle meat, I will forever support their consumption of turtle meat. I know you have come and made Cayman your home for 11 years, but it's that kind of approach that don't have a respect for our cultural norms and expect to try to suggest that we stop eating turtle meat. I'm really disappointed with that interpretation, and that's why we have a divide now. And Cayman is a very welcoming people, but you ultimately come here and basically say we should stop eating turtle meat, the thing that made the Cayman Islands what it is today. Turtling and making thatch rope is what built the foundation that allowed you to want to come here today. And I'm disappointed that you went that far to suggest that something that is considered our national dish, that we shouldn't do it. So you should think about that, sir.
You know, a quick comment on that, and I agree with you, Premier. Being culturally sensitive is such an important, no matter where you go in this world. But when you're actually living in someone else's home, staying in their home, and then turning around telling them what they can eat, there's something, you say that out loud, it gets come across. But I will say this. While you were talking earlier, the WhatsApp chat was blowing up. 6 out of 7 were questioning comments you were making about the port or the beach.
Yeah.
All 7 have come back with in support of you based on the last caller. So
that's good.
So a unifying comment there was I do believe that was a very culturally insensitive
it was, because I'm a person, I'm a patient, like I can handle the disagreements, but I mean, come on, man. You got to be able to respect who we are and what we become, and you know what I mean. Like, this is where the divide is happening. Like, we have been so welcoming as a people, and this is exactly what I spoke about in my speech yesterday. Is that we're Caymanians are getting fed up. Like, what basis would he have to suggest something as foundational as turtle meat consumption and what we grew up on, to tell Caymanians they shouldn't be eating it anymore? I mean, I find that wrong. But hey, everybody has the right to their opinion. I think you could be just a little bit more sensitive to what the Caymanian people are about. I think it would be best for us to think that way in our deliberations. There has to be some cultural sensitivities. Anyway, I love him all the same. And we're in this together. He's an in-law, so that's good.
Is it in-law?
He's an in-law. He's married to a Caymanian, so I have to respect that.
We actually, 1 minute left in the show. The show flew by. I thought we would have had to squeeze a little more comment in here, but the reality is we gave our callers today a lot of time.
They deserve it. They deserve it. I think there's one thing I do want to leave you with,
Please, yes.
which is important. As I said yesterday at the Chamber of Commerce luncheon, doing the keynote speech on behalf of the Premier, as well as the CETA general meeting, is the stability component. Yes, we are a minority government, but I ensure the country that after the Premier and the rest of the Cabinet and caucus met with the FS, we're happy to say that there will be a surplus at the end of this year. I'll leave the Premier to telling you exactly what that amount is. We're stable. We have 42.2 days worth of revenue, which is about $3 million a year in cash reserves. So we're just fine. So there may be political instability, which is calmed down now, and those who are on the opposite side are in agreement that allow the minority government to finish the administration, so the people can have a timely process of selecting the most important thing that they do every 4 years, which is the next administration. So we respect those opposed for that mature approach, because we would hate to disenfranchise people from registering to vote or being able to vote in the election. With that being said, listen, it was a pleasure to be on the show. I'm happy to come back on again. I think my role is going to force me to be more vocal in respect to things, and I want to give the public comfort. It is important that they have the information. There's nothing wrong with disagreeing, because those who listen hear both sides and can get a little bit of understanding from all angles. And one thing I recognize in this business, you're not going to please everybody, but that's okay. That's what democracy is. It's about making sure that you represent those in the majority, unless it's an ethical matter or a constitutional matter. So regardless of how difficult that last caller was, I appreciate him calling me in, and those previous before that and sending the messages in. Thank you so much. God bless you all. God bless your listening audience, and God bless you, my brother, and thank you for having me.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate it. On that note, we do need to call a wrap for today's show. Thank you again to all of our loyal listeners out there in Radio Cayman Nation, the Cool Out team who was here earlier, our Honorable Deputy Premier, and of course, Mr. Paula Cal holding down the fort. Again, good luck to Miss Reagan Ruddy at the Miss Universe pageant. And if you're attending any of the festivities this weekend, whether it be Cool Out or Pirates Week, have a great time and stay safe. On behalf of the entire Radio Cayman family, have a very happy Friday, safe weekend. I'm Raymond Singh, and God bless.
Did you know that Doctors Hospital provides urgent care services 24 hours a day, 7 days a week? And Doctors Hospital's urgent care physicians have access to the most advanced MRI and CT imaging in the Caribbean, providing reliable diagnostics when you need it most. When you need quality urgent care for an illness or injury, Doctors Hospital is here for you 24/7. Whether it's a migraine, chest or abdominal pain, short